The forest had been getting thicker for miles, the trees leaning in like they were eavesdropping. The road narrowed until it felt less like a path and more like a mistake. Fog drifted low across the ground, curling around the tires as if trying to pull the car backward. Inside, the heater hummed weakly. The father kept glancing at the rearview mirror, though he didn't know why. Something about the woods felt wrong. Too quiet, too still. Even the radio had dissolved into static miles ago. The kids in the back seat had stopped talking, not because they were tired, but because they felt it too, that strange pressure in the air, like the moment before a storm, except colder, much colder. The car slowed as the fog thickened. The headlights pushed only a few feet ahead before dissolving into white nothingness. "Dad," the girl whispered, "I think someone's out there." He forced a laugh. "There's no one out here, middle of nowhere." But he didn't sound convinced. The boy leaned closer to the window, squinting into the fog. "I saw something move." The father tightened his grip on the wheel. Probably a deer. But deer didn't walk upright, and deer didn't stare. The engine sputtered, coughed, died. The lights flickered once, then dimmed to a weak glow. The father tried the key again. Nothing. Silence pressed in from all sides. Then came the sound, a soft shuffle of gravel. Slow, careful, like someone trying not to be heard. The girl's breath fogged the window. "Dad, they're right there." He turned. Two figures stood just beyond the faint glow of the headlights. Small, motionless, their outlines barely visible through the fog. Children. As the fog shifted, their faces came into view. Pale, expressionless, eyes too dark to reflect the light. They stood shoulder to shoulder, staring into the car as if they'd been waiting for it to stop. The boy outside tilted his head, slow and unnatural, like he was studying them. The girl beside him didn't blink. Her hair hung wet against her face, dripping onto her dress though there was no rain. The father whispered, "Don't move." But the kids inside the car were already frozen. The children outside stepped closer. Their feet made no sound on the gravel. Their faces pressed toward the glass, breathless, unblinking. Their eyes locked on the ones inside. The girl in the car whimpered, "They're looking right at me." The father reached for the lock button, and that's when the tapping began. Soft, rhythmic, right beside the boy's ear. Tap, tap, tap. The girl outside raised her hand and placed on the window. The glass frosted beneath her touch. And slowly, a smile crept across her face, a smile that didn't belong on a child. The tapping on the glass grew sharper, more insistent. Tap, tap, tap. Inside the car, the father's breath came fast and shallow. His fingers trembled on the key, even though he knew the engine was dead. The kids huddled together in the back seat, eyes locked on the pale silhouettes outside. The girl in the fog leaned closer, her outline barely visible through the condensation. Her face hovered inches from the glass, but the details never fully formed, like the fog itself was hiding something it didn't want them to see. The boy beside her tilted his head again, slow and unnatural, as if listening to something the others couldn't hear. But they didn't open the doors. They didn't speak. They didn't move closer. They just watched. The father swallowed hard. "Don't look at them," he whispered. "Just stay still." The girl in the back seat squeezed her brother's hand. "Why won't they go away?" Before the father could answer, the fog thickened, swirling around the car like a living thing. The silhouettes blurred, stretched, and for a moment it looked like the children were dissolving into the mist. Then, click! The dashboard lights flickered. The father froze. He hadn't touched the key. Another flicker. Then the faint hum of electricity. The boy in the back gasped. "Dad." The car is waking up. The father didn't question it, didn't think, didn't breathe. He twisted the key. The engine coughed. Once, twice, then roared to life with a violent shudder. The headlights blasted through the fog. And for the first time, the father saw the children clearly, or thought he did. Their faces were blank, expressionless, almost carved. Their eyes reflected the headlights like glass. But the moment the engine growled, they stepped back. Not startled, not afraid, just retreating, like shadows pulling away from the light. The father slammed the car into drive. "Hold on." The tires spun on the wet gravel, then caught. The car lurched forward, cutting through fog. The silhouettes faded behind them, swallowed by the darkness as if they'd never been there at all. The kids didn't speak until the forest thinned and the fog finally broke. The girl whispered, "Dad, what were they?" He shook his head, eyes fixed on the road ahead. "I don't know, and we're not going back to find out." The boy looked out the rear window one last time. Nothing followed, nothing chased, just an empty road and the fading glow of the forest behind them. For the first time that night, the father allowed himself to breathe. They were safe and got home with a tale to tell. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this story, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment idea for other stories.